Holy cow! So much has happened since our last episode. We got a lot to talk about.
Johnson goes to deny. Step back. Big play.
It's got you here.
Jones doesn't go. The tip by Broome. Up ahead, Harper.
Hello and welcome to this episode of War Eagle Weekly. How we doing, Josh? I'm not doing great.
I think I'm in the same boat. I am relieved, though, that Johni Broome does not require surgery.
Yeah. Could have been a lot worse, I guess. It could have been a lot worse. But, I mean, we have to talk about the Texas game, the South Carolina game, the injury to Johni Broome and what that means for this team. And then, guess what? We got two more games coming up that we got to talk about as well. So, let's dive in. First off, let's talk about the Texas game. Before we do that, actually, here, let me do this. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Okay, leave a comment below. We want to hear what you guys have to say about the show and this episode. And also, take a look at the chapters on the scroll bar at the bottom. I should have that up starting with the last episode. I'm going to start doing that so that way if you want to skip ahead to a certain topic, you're more than welcome to it. But, Josh, last week, we played at Texas, and we blew a 21-point lead to end up winning by, 5, I think?
Against Texas?
Yeah.
5. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. So we go into Texas. It looks good early on, and we were up by 21, and then all of a sudden Texas started coming back. That dude.
No. Texas did not start coming back. Arthur Kaluma started. He just started lighting Auburn up. Nothing you could do would stop him. I think he finished like 12 for 16.
Yeah.
In that game. Yeah, 12 for 16 on the floor in that game, 5 for 6. And, I was looking him up, and he never averaged really more than 14 points a game in his entire career because he scored 11 per game at Creighton, 14.4 at Kansas State, and now 14.4 at Texas. He's the first Texas Longhorn to score over 30 points in a single game since Kevin Durant.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I know.
He came out of nowhere.
I think this is what we're going to start seeing nowadays is Auburn is at that level where we're going to get everyone's best player. They are going to come out there and try to make a statement. And for those of you wondering, Josh keeps yawning because he just woke up. He has the night shift. And so we're recording just before he goes to work. I got him to wake up a little bit earlier. But it seems like we're going to get somebody's best every game because we got it again against South Carolina as well. But sticking with Texas, we'll get to that here in a moment. But sticking with Texas, I mean, we out rebounded them 37-30. We out offensive rebounded them. We had more assists. We had the same steals, had more blocks. We had one less turnover, so it wasn't our best game. It was probably our C game, to be honest with you, right?
I mean, the first half was an A+ game, and then Texas went and scored 55 points in the second half, so it turned into a C- game. So I think I would agree with you.
Held them to 27 points in the first half. It felt like it was going to be one of those games where we just really ran away with it and going to win by 30 plus. But hey, we pointed it out, specifically me. I'd like to say winning on the road in the SEC this year, specifically this year, is going to be insanely hard. It's going to be difficult, especially when you have a target on your back like this Auburn team does.
Yeah, especially since we're the number 1 team in the country now. Yeah, you thought we were getting everyone's best in the last 2 games? Just wait till we play number 15 Mississippi State and 23 Georgia. One of those games we get at home. Thank goodness it's Mississippi State.
Yeah, thank goodness. Well, so after Texas, we went to South Carolina. We were booking in the last episode. We didn't think this was even going to be a contest.
Oh, I mean, especially when Alabama beat them by 20 points, we thought, okay, Auburn could at least match that. I woke up the last 30 seconds of the game just in time to see Pringle miss his 2 free throws that allowed Auburn to seal the game. And I did. I mean, I woke up to all the new. You were texting me saying, "Oh shit! Johni Broome got hurt." And I was like, I didn't know what was going on. It was one hell of a way to wake up. But I'm glad we got the dub. That's the only thing that matters. Win ugly or win pretty. Either way, you win.
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. But Colin Murray Boyles was a man among boys in that game. He looked like he couldn't be stopped at times. And he looked like he was giving Johni Broome every bit of fit that Johni Broome could handle until he got hurt. So we ended up finishing this game pretty well. We held them scoreless on the last 5 minutes of the game, I believe is what it was. Defensively, we started to look good. It was one of those things at halftime. The score is Auburn 34, South Carolina 40. And you look at the stats, and I'm just like, what is going on? Because I couldn't quite see what the real issue was. But I think it has to come down to rebounding, and we were just getting outmanned is what it felt like.
Yeah, again, I didn't really watch the game at all other than the last 30 seconds. So I'm looking at the stats for the first time just now. I think the most impressive stat about the game is the fact that we held South Carolina at only 23 points in the second half. I think that was Auburn's saving grace, is turning it up on defense. But in almost every metric, they just outperformed Auburn. The only one that they didn't even come close was fast break points. We had 13, they had 0. But
yeah. Now
everything is just screaming trap game. That's insane.
Yeah, I will say the refs. I don't know what it is. Like historically, your front runners, your highly ranked teams, sometimes get calls, especially when they have star power on their team, like we do in Johni Broome. The refs seem to be calling a game that was very inconsistent. It wasn't like they were calling it completely one way, but it was just so inconsistent. Like there were times where I was just like, a couple possessions ago, nobody called that. Whether it was Auburn, being more physical than the South Carolina team or vice versa. I don't think they cited one team more. What was the free throws? Let's see here. South Carolina shot 16, we shot 12. So, I mean, it wasn't crazy, but it just felt like the refs were being inconsistent and our team wasn't able to kind of get where they could be physically because they didn't know how it was going to be called. I mean, there was a flagrant foul, or was it a technical foul? I think it was a flagrant, where Cheney Johnson came running in and just basically laid a defender out. But the defender had like no interest at all in the ball. He turned to take the hit from Cheney. It was just a lot of weirdness going on in this game. And like you said, it felt like a trap game, and it turned out that it was. So Auburn wins 66-63, holding on, prevented Pringle from getting those 2 free throws, which I am sick and tired of hearing that dude's name. At the beginning of the game, I was like, why do I recognize Pringle? Why is this somebody that I absolutely hate? Like, I knew I hated him. But I couldn't remember
Alabama.
And then I looked him up and I was like, son of a, nope, that's exactly what it was. I knew he's just one of those relentless players. I feel like he probably plays his best games against Auburn. He has just a way against, at least.
He only scored points a game at Alabama.
Yeah.
He didn't do junk at Alabama. He's just a name.
Yeah, well, except for when he was playing Auburn. Because, I mean,
still, he only had like 6 points, didn't he?
No, he had 12 points, 10 rebounds. So he had a double-double.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just seemed to be everywhere. So Auburn holds off. Tahad Pettiford came in at the end of the game and really took over the game. it really felt like he took over the game. And Johni Broome gets hurt. Johni Broome goes down early on in the second half, and it did not look good. It was one of those things where he landed on Chaney Johnson's foot, and I was scared to death because he wasn't putting any weight on it. He was getting carried off the court, as we're showing here on the screen. He was instantly in pain, but this team didn't seem to let it phase them. It seems like that injury from early on in the season with his shoulder, where we were phased, it seems like the team kind of rebounded and knew how to handle the situation.
They just need some cortisone. You can give him a cortisone shot, he'll be good. That's a nasty bruise.
We're now showing the ankle injury, and it looks bad. We don't know if this was this picture was taken day of. Actually, we do. It was taken day of the injury, so I'm sure the next day on Sunday it looked even worse than this, to be perfectly honest. But it looks like a bad injury, and if anybody has ever twisted their ankle, they know how this feels. So Auburn ends up hanging on. We actually looked better not having Johni Broome in, and I think that the reason for that is because Johni was up to that point. What was his stat line? It wasn't impressive. 3 for 11. He couldn't get a shot to go down. He kept getting to where he wanted to. The commentators were saying it during the game. He's getting where he wants to go. He just can't get the ball to go down. And kudos to South Carolina, because they seemed like they were annoying him just enough. So we kept trying to feed him the ball. And when he gets hurt, we stopped trying to do that, and we just played ball. And defensively, yeah, we really amped it up. They really did a great job. They impressed me in the second half. I don't like the fact that this team turns on defense. I would prefer them to just always play
leave it on. Leave it on,
because it prevents us from having to be in these situations. But so, can we keep winning without Johni Broome? What do we need to do to win without Johni Broome?
Develop Tahad Pettiford. I mean, that's the dude has just week in, week out, game in, game out, come in and gave it 115% and is leaving it all on the court, whether he puts up big numbers or not. He's playing his friggin' heart out. He wants to be a leader. This is his opportunity to be a leader, and this is Bruce's opportunity to allow him to assume that role. I think Tahad Pettiford can get it done, because we're going to have Chaney Johnson's going to have to start, and Dylan Cardwell is going to have to obviously start as well. And
we need Dylan to stay out of foul trouble.
Yeah, that's going to be a big thing. We all know he likes to play fast and loose, which is awesome and fun to watch. But when you're down a guy, that's not so much fun. But I think right now it'd be the perfect opportunity to get the guard play going and leading this team while Johni Broome is out.
Yeah, and I think you hit the nail on the head. I think Tahad Pettiford is going to be Johni goes down and he comes in and the light is bright, and he's proven all year long that when the light is the brightest, he's going to shine, and he has. He really looks like he had control. He missed another free throw in this game, but when it mattered most, he hit the two there at the end of the game. Wasn't even phased. It looked like he was out there looking like freaking Joe Montana, ice in his veins, not even phased by the moment on the drive. So I don't know. So you think that they're going to go run the offense through Tahad Pettiford?
I think that would be the smartest thing to do. Either that or put him on the floor with Denver Jones.
And sit Kelly?
Yeah. Have Kelly come off the bench. Yeah, have him come off the bench for the spark plug.
Nah, man. I'm all for the change in the starting positions. Well, because you can't do that, because then you have Tahad at the 1, Denver at the 2, and then you have you're
Chad at the
switching out.
3.
So you're switching out 2 starters, is what you're saying.
Yeah. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because we lost a starter. You're having to bring a bench player. He is good for about 10 to 11 points a game. You're bringing that bench player onto the court.
Chaney Johnson.
Chaney Johnson, and then you have another bench player in Tahad Pettiford that's good from anywhere from 10 to 18 points a game. And Miles Kelly, he's a friggin' spark plug. He's a microwave. He's Auburn's version of J.R. Smith. So yeah, I feel like you got to take that heat and put him in the bench. And when you have your backup players come in, you have that starter there, the guy with the minutes and the ability to get going and put confidence in everybody else. I feel like that would be the smartest move to make, is to put Miles Kelly on the bench with Tahad Pettiford coming out to start and just moving Denver to the 2.
Wow. Now, see, I couldn't disagree with that more. I think this is we've said it so far this year that the linchpin, the player that means the most to this team outside of Johni Broome has been Chad Baker-Mazara.
Yes.
And I think we need to run the offense through him. I honestly think that we can. He seems a lot more mature this year. He's a lot more calm, level-headed, and he can score getting his own bucket. He can score by us forcing the ball to him. He's although he needs to improve his passing because he gets a little fancy or tries something a little too crazy. But if we can keep that under control, I think we should run this offense through him. Not saying that we need to force the ball to him, but I think he is the player that really steps up offensively out of the starting 5. Keep Pettiford coming off the bench. We need him to continue this role, because it's not about him as the year goes on. He's not going to take over the starting position unless there's an injury to Miles Kelly or Denver Jones. He's not taking over the starting position.
I'm not saying to take it over.
No, I know. I'm just saying for any stretch of games. I don't know how long this is going to be. And so that's why I'm saying run it through Chad Baker-Mazara. I think it's well within his ability to do this, and I think the team becomes much better. Now, we could also see Miles Kelly be the one that we run the team through. I mean, this dude was the dude at Georgia. Was it Georgia Tech that he was at last year?
Georgia Tech, yeah.
Or for his career so far. The guy knew how to win and knew how to take over games. So maybe he steps up, and maybe his wrist is a lot better, because he shot 50%, if I remember correctly. He shot 50% in this game. Let's double check. Yeah, 5 for 10 on his field goals, 4 for 8 from 3, 14 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 turnover, 2 fouls. So I think this could be Chad Baker-Mazara and Miles Kelly are the 2 starters that are really going to jump up, and you're going to see their numbers explode, I feel like.
I don't see the offense running through Miles Kelly. He looks pretty pedestrian when it comes to driving the basket. He's had some flashes. I mean, he can do it, just not at a consistent level. And I love Chad Baker-Mazara. I just don't think the Auburn's offense is run through passing and setting up shots. Chad Baker-Mazara can do that, but again, you said that he tries to be a little too flashy and fancy with his passes, and it ends up in the other team's hands. And I think it would be okay if it ran through Chad Baker-Mazara. I just don't think that's going to be the plan. I don't know what's going to happen. I can't wait till Mississippi State till we know the friggin' answer.
Yeah. Well, my thing is this team isn't one that passes. It gets a little stagnant sometimes. Johni Broome is the one that has changed how we run this offense. I'm thinking about how Bruce Pearl ran his offenses before. He didn't have the one player that he fed down low like Johni Broome, and the Johni kind of facilitated from there. He ran. It was a run and gun. It was a fast-paced. It was a turnover machine.
If I remember correctly, it ran through his guards, his backcourt. If I remember correctly. And who plays in the backcourt?
Yes, but you also said Miles Kelly is not the one that you see this offense being ran through.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying Todd Bennett.
It's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm a little scared. I'm a little worried, but I'm also of the belief that, just like I think every Auburn fan is, I don't care how long Johni Broome needs to sit. I don't see a way that we stay out of the NCAA tournament. Unless we lose every game from here on out, I don't see a way that we don't make the tournament.
Unless we just drop a goose egg, I think we're still going to make the tournament.
Rest Johni, because we need him tournament time. We need him tournament. Now, obviously, we want to get him back before that so we can get back in the groove, get him warmed up, get him back in the rotation. Everybody's getting used to how we're playing and everything. But the word is he's held out indefinitely, which hopefully they don't rush it. Hopefully they don't let Johni make the choice, because I think if Johni could, he'd take that cortisone shot and would be back on the court tomorrow against Mississippi State. But hopefully they take it easy. So
I'm thinking optimistically he'd be back for Tennessee on the 25th, but probably more realistically, he's probably looking at Florida on the 8th.
Okay. I mean, that could be the case. Those ankle sprains, man, whether they're the word is that it's a low ankle sprain, which I don't injury wise and personally, I've twisted my ankle. I don't know if I've ever had a high ankle sprain. I don't know if I've ever had a low ankle sprain. I don't know.
I'd rather have a high ankle sprain than a low ankle sprain. Low ankle sprain is right there at the pivot of your leg and your ankle.
But they say the high is worse. So I don't know.
I mean, I've had both, and my personal opinion, I'd rather have a high ankle sprain than a low ankle sprain.
Okay, there you go. You heard it. You heard it here on War Eagle Weekly. Johni Broome has the worst ankle sprain that you could imagine.
That's not what I said. I gave an opinion.
So tomorrow on the 12th. Sorry. Tomorrow the 12th.
Tomorrow's the 14th.
Tomorrow's the 14th. So I am sorry. The graphic is wrong. Today.
Who made the graphic? Who made the graphic?
I made the graphic. Yes. The graphic is wrong once again. Surprise, surprise, Josh. It's been about a month since I've gotten a graphic wrong. Let's just be honest here. So you knew I was due. You knew I was due.
Up on the back.
So tomorrow, the 14th at 6 p.m. Central Time on the SEC Network, we play Mississippi State. That's number 15 Mississippi State. Josh, this is not a bad team.
No, I don't think they are at all. I think this is another trap game for Auburn, but a more obvious trap game. But the fact that it's inside Neville is what is giving me a lot more relief than what it would be at Mississippi State.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely do need the crowd to show up for sure. We need Neville Arena to show up. Yeah. So this team right now is led by Josh Hubbard, who is your sophomore, who tore it up for Mississippi State last year. Really, statistically speaking, all across the board, this dude is playing better. Outside of the fact that he is only averaging 17 points a game versus 17.1 last year, statistically speaking, he's playing more minutes. His field goal percentage is higher. 3-point percent is higher. His free throw percent is 1% less. Same rebound, better assists, same block, better on steals, a little bit more personal fouls, better not turning the ball over. This dude is a baller, and he was a problem in the NCAA tournament. He was a problem in the SEC tournament, and he's going to continue to be a problem this year. We cannot take Mississippi State lightly. It just cannot happen. They will run us out.
They beat South Carolina by 35.
Yeah.
And we beat them by 3.
And like you pointed out, we are now the number 1 team in the country. We are that target on our back, that bullseye on our back has gotten a lot.
Last time Auburn was ranked number 1?
2022, 21.
Yeah, you know what
21.
happened? You know what happened the very last time they were ranked number 1, you know what happened? They lost the very next game after they were ranked number 1.
Yeah.
So this is like prime positioning for Mississippi State to knock Auburn off once again a day after they get ranked number 1. I hope it doesn't happen. I don't think it's going to happen, but it very well could happen.
Yeah, it could. I mean, honestly, this team is scoring 83 points a game, almost 84 points a game. They play, let's see here, on a regular basis, they play 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players, significant minutes, double-digit minutes. It's just all in all, it's just a very well-rounded team. They're not a team that is gonna jump off of the stat sheet for you. Their 2 losses come versus Butler. They lost by 10 points, and then they lost to Kentucky by 5 points. And that was just a couple of days ago that they lost to Kentucky. So Kentucky was bouncing back from a couple of okay games themselves. Like you said, they beat South Carolina. They've beaten Memphis, number 21 Memphis, number 18 Pitt. All in all,
they average 10.1 steals a game, and we give up 9.4 a game. This is definitely one, like ESPN gives Auburn an 86.5% chance to win the game, but don't think this one's going to come easy, guys. I got a bad feeling about this game. Hopefully I'm proven wrong.
I think we're gonna have a couple of real tight games from here on out until Johni Broome comes back. Preseason, you and I both predicted a win here and a win against the next team that we are going to be playing, which is going to be at Georgia, who Georgia just got done beating. Who was it? They beat Ole Miss a few days ago, and they beat
Kentucky, and then they beat Oklahoma. Oklahoma by 10, Kentucky by 13.
And before they play us, they're going to be playing Tennessee. So it'll be interesting to see how they do against that. But on Saturday, the 18th, 12 p.m. Central Time on the SEC Network, another game that Josh was not going to get to watch, and another game that we're going to it's going to come down to the wire, because every game Josh hasn't been able to watch this year has been a close one. So that kind of worries me, Josh. You should probably wake up even earlier than what you had been.
I mean, you see, I got 9 hours last night, and you see the way I'm yawning right now. I'm friggin' dead. It's hard to wake up early.
This Georgia team, though, man, they don't really. Nobody stands out on this team as being the guy.
Yeah, they got a guy that can score. They got a guy that's mid at rebounds, and they got a guy that's okay at assists. The guy that rebounds and scores is the same guy. Asa Newell scores 15.4 points a game, 6.8 rebounds a game, and he's a 58% shooter from the floor. But other than that, there really isn't
he's just a freshman.
Anybody that just a freshman. You hear yourself.
Okay, what was his ranking coming out of high school, I guess?
I don't heckin' know. I'm just saying, like, just because you're a freshman don't mean shit.
I guess, man. I don't know. I think I'm less worried about the Georgia game for sure. Georgia's number 23.
Sure, yes.
But again, it's on the road, man. It's on the road, and it's so hard to sit here and talk about these games because we don't know what this team is going to play like. We just don't know. Coming into
especially
the season,
on the road.
Yeah, coming into the season, we knew it was going to run through Johni Broome, and that it was going to be, Chad Baker-Mazara was going to be a staple, and so we could talk about it. But now we're in uncharted territory. We haven't had Johni Broome miss a game. I don't. When was the last time Johni Broome missed a game?
It's been a long time.
So
I can't even tell you.
I'm just worried. these next few games, Auburn is let's see. So let's look at this real quick. Let's look at this. So Auburn's going to be playing against Mississippi State tomorrow, Georgia on Saturday. Then we're playing Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, and then Florida. Those are our next few games. What do you think our record at the end of that is going to be? At the end of that stretch. So this stretch that you said without Johni Broome.
Up until Florida or up until Tennessee?
I guess up until Florida. So up until
Let me
Florida.
See here.
Again, Mississippi State, Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss, and that's at LSU, at Ole Miss versus Oklahoma.
So I think we can win Mississippi State and Georgia. So that's 2-0. Tennessee got really exposed against Florida. So either Tennessee is really not as good as the country wanted you to believe, or Florida is just that much better than Tennessee. I'm not convinced on that yet. I think we win against Tennessee because I've not been impressed with them, especially by looking at their schedule. It's really nothing to write home about. I think, though, we lose one of the two between LSU and Ole Miss. That's 2 road games in a row. I think we could squeak by LSU, but lose against Ole Miss 3 days later.
Jeez, I'm the pessimist in me. I'm not booging. I can tell you that much. I ain't booging. I'm thinking 3-3, dude. It just really feels like I don't know if we can beat Mississippi State, but I think we will because it's at Neville. So we should be able to beat Mississippi State. I don't see us beating Georgia. I don't know. I said earlier that I felt better, or I felt better about that game than the Mississippi State, but I think I was wrong. Winning on the road is so difficult. We're playing 3 road games in this stretch, and I think we lose all 3.
All 3 road games.
No, sorry. I think we lose Georgia, Ole Miss, and Tennessee. So I think we lose 2 of the 3 road games. And then Tennessee, I just don't think we're going to have it together before then without Johni. I just don't know. Now, hey, we may go out there against Mississippi State and may just look phenomenal. And then we beat Georgia and look phenomenal. Then, I might be changing my tune come Tennessee. But right now, I just don't see it happening. Tennessee, I think, is going to be a difficult game for us to win, even though it is at Neville. I hope I'm wrong, Josh.
I mean, I hope you're wrong as well. But I do got a question for you, not related to our schedule.
Okay.
The round mound of rebound has a statue at Auburn, right? Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Does Johni Broome deserve a statue?
I think it's too early to tell. I saw the stat comparison between the two right now. I think it's too early to tell. Yeah.
I mean, they both had played 3 years at Auburn.
Yeah. I want to see
Charles
what
Barkley
team
never
does.
averaged more than 9.8 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
Johni Broome has.
Yeah. I want to see what this team does by the end of the year, and then we can have this conversation. Right now, I think it's a no. I think it's a no right now.
I think it's a resounding yes right now.
Wow. Well, we shall see. We shall see. Josh, either way, we have a lot of crazy stuff happening right now. We both of us are kind of lost for words, lost for explanation. We don't know what's going to happen over this next 6-game stretch. Hopefully we see Johni Broome back sooner rather than later. And either way, Josh, we got out of South Carolina with a W. We got 1 loss on the season. This team has the ability. The seniors on this team have ability to win without Johni Broome. And with that being said, Josh, War Eagle.
War damn Eagle.
Johnson goes to deny. Step down. Big play.
It's got you here.
Jones doesn't go. The tip by Broome. Up ahead, Harper. Harper.